I think it should be fourth down.
I'm going to give it to you right now.
Wildcats! I gotta say it was a good day. Hey. Committed to winning, we gotta go get it. Today is the day. LA, huh? California love. So bold and so tall. Tell me who gon' stop us. Huh? Watch us run it up. Today is the day. Today is the day. LA.
If it were the books, then week 4 would be in it. Because week 4 is in the books. And we're here now with the XFLol podcast. I'm David Kleitch with my great wordsmanship. As always, I'm here with my brother Wesley Kleitch.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Bear.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
And Josh.
Knocking it out of the park.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I always do the intros, and I think I do a fine job of it. Week 4 is over with. What do you guys, anyone got anything to say about it? Wow. Wow, it's just one word.
You can't know what's going to happen in this league.
Yeah, nobody is consistent except for Houston.
Yeah.
Except for Houston. Houston is Mr. Get him the job done. However, they weren't looking that great until Landry went out.
Well, they look good, but, Dallas looked good, too. I think I finally understand why we're calling this the XFLol podcast, because if you go back and listen to the weeks before, you're just going to laugh at our predictions, because...
Well, a lot of things are like injuries or people sitting out. For instance, the first game, we'll get right into it. LA at New York. We had Nelson Spruce and Martez Carter both sitting out.
I think the biggest injury to LA, though, had to have been Matt McGloin not playing. What really killed us. That was the biggest injury for LA.
Luis Perez, not a lot of people know, was originally LA Wildcat to start the the franchise off before any games were actually played.
Yeah, when I was first reading about LA, he was the announced starter for them, and the next thing you know, he's traded and Josh Johnson comes in, and he didn't play the first game, but yeah, Luis Perez, and then what a thorn in our side he was.
I don't know. I think being an LA fan is kind of like relapsing on hard drugs. Like one day, you're like, good, yeah, I'm getting my life together, and then boom, you go to New York, and next thing you know, you're in a dumpster fire.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, if you're an LA fan and a relapsed drug user, let us know if that comparison's apt.
I don't know. I think it would have to be like we saw it with DC coming to LA and losing, and then LA turning around having gone all the way to New York. Maybe this travel is too much for these XFL players.
It was a much different LA team that went out there,
It definitely wasn't the same team that came out and played DC. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I was looking up on home games in interdivisional play, East versus West, West versus East. The home teams are 6-8 on the season so far. So
6-8, so they've lost 8. What?
No, they've
6-4-8.
Yeah, they've won 6 out of 8.
Gotcha.
Okay. 6-4-8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
it makes sense, and I don't know when they're traveling. Maybe that's something that these teams need to think about is when are they going to the other city? Are they giving themselves time to acclimate? And
maybe we're not giving New York enough props, though, because this definitely wasn't the New York team that played DC, the one that got shut out by them in week 2. They looked good.
But obviously it wasn't the same team. They had a different quarterback.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a quarterback that's not throwing everybody under the bus.
Yeah.
Right. And then, of course, we didn't get the job done on special teams, so we couldn't stay in it. We had the blocked field goal, and then we had the other field goal that just sailed wide right. And, it sucks sometimes, but if you can't kick field goals, you can't.
I feel like that's on me. I feel like that's on me because both field goals, I was like, come on, guys, it's Nick Novak. He's the only kicker that we know about. He played in the NFL. I remember this guy. And then, you can't blame the blocked field goal on him, but that missed 40-yarder, it was kind of, maybe, I don't know,
And losing by 3 like we did, it's frustrating when we don't really have, when Nelson Spruce out and we have Carter out. We got one real target, and that's McBride. And he made some hell of a plays, but you can't just target one guy the whole game.
Yeah. We had Blacknell, who had that one touchdown, that really awesome over-the-top touchdown, but it was also his first catch of the season.
Of the entire season.
Also, Jordan Smallwood had some good catches in the first quarter as well, but he had to keep that going through the whole game. Josh Johnson on the whole, 25 for 40, 330 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 3 sacks for negative 20 yards.
I know we can be homers on this podcast and everything with LA, but shout out to Victor, the Guardians running back with 82 yards rushing.
He ran right over us.
Yeah,
and there was a lot of times where we had point of contact either at the line of scrimmage or really close to it, and he just pushed us for another 8 yards.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that really helped Luis Perez look really good. I mean, when you've got a running back that's running really well.
Right, safety's got to come up, and then you can manipulate it. I mean, it's classic football.
Time for David's tough question. 2 toughs. What college did Darius Victor go to?
Darius Victor?
Yes.
All right, I feel like you're asking me this for a reason. If I had to guess, was it a community college?
Last chance you.
Towson.
Towson?
Towson. Towson.
Oh, how did I forget about
Anybody want to guess where that's at?
I've never heard of Towson before.
Tuscaloosa.
Is it in the Midwest?
Known for football and crab cakes.
Oh, it's in Maryland. Oh, okay.
The Towson Tigers from Maryland.
All right.
Well, he had a hell of a game.
He did look
ran
good. He had
right over
82
our
yards,
defense.
but he never put it in the end zone, so that's a big thing. You got to
Not as many total yards, but also not as many carries. DeJuan Harris for LA looked pretty good.
Yeah,
You can't see his name on his jersey.
No, with his dreads. Which
but I like the dreads. It's fucking badass.
Oh, yeah, he looks awesome.
Driving me
better
nuts.
than
And he
Elijah
lowers
Hood.
his shoulder and fucking runs.
He does. I mean, we got Elijah Hood. We've got Martez Carter come out of nowhere, and now
It's just frustrating, man. I want to see our defense step up and, when you're making contact with the running back on the 1 yard outside the line of scrimmage and he's still able to get a first down, that's just poor tackling and poor defense.
Yeah, our tackling was terrible this week.
yeah.
They were going for the big hit versus the making a proper tackle. And
Let's step out of homer mode real quick and being all down and everything. That it was a 14-17 game. It was a good game.
Close,
And
yeah,
I thought for a second, I was almost convinced we were going to have our first overtime, which the elusive XFL overtime, when are we going to get one of those? That's going to be fun, right?
I think
It's
so.
like the doubled pass,
Winston Moss said about it, well, I thought we had our opportunities to win the game, and we did not take advantage of them, so I think that...
You know what else Winston Moss said? Probably the fucking highlight of this game. When they were going for it on 4th and 2, and they put the camera right on him, and he goes,
"You want it?
You want it? You gonna get it?"
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to you.
It's definitely going to be in the intro song, for sure.
Yeah, I thought it was a good game for sure. And if you want overtime, I'm going to guarantee it right now. Joshua, going on record, there will not be an overtime this season.
Oh,
All right.
no.
Well, that's wrong. Very next week. It's
Yeah,
gonna
that's
happen.
nice that when
You're
you
welcome.
when you make the prediction. Yeah,
Thanks, buddy.
thanks, Josh. When you're watching the elusive XFL shootout.
Something that happened in this game, and I don't know, it happened in more than one game this week that I think we should all talk about, and that is the personal foul on the extra point. Because they keep enforcing it on the kickoffs, and it's screwing the kicking team.
Because you're right. Because with when you're kicking off, if you kick it out of the end zone, they get it at the 35. So that 15-yard penalty and it happened in the very next game. And I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah.
Because a personal foul after the point after, if you get a personal foul there, then they have to kick it 15 yards for it. Makes it harder for the kicker. It's almost beneficial. And I was telling you guys, wow, that's gonna make the XFL even that much better because they can, after the touchdown, you get to watch touchdown celebrations unlike the NFL. But after the point after, you get to see that for sure personal foul. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
And then it's happened in more than one game, and you know defenses are gonna know there's a window there.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a rule change there. It was brought up in both games, and the next game as well. It happened. It is not beneficial to the offending team. So,
Before we move on, one last thing about this one, if we're about to move on. Luis Perez. You're casting a remake of Sleepy Hollow. Is he Ichabod Crane?
oh man, I mean, you got to. That nose was out of the helmet. That thing
That's
was.
a lanky, interesting-looking guy.
Oh my gosh.
He looks like Adam Driver for sure.
Yes, there's
Yeah.
definitely a resemblance.
Yeah. The
Definitely
nose,
have Adam Driver's nose.
the nose to mouth ratio is not. I mean, it's nose and mouth takes up 75% of that guy's face.
Attendance was kind of all over the place when I looked this up. I think on the XFL they said 17,000, and on NBC, who has been shitting all over XFL all season long, said there was only 12,000 people. I mean, there wasn't a lot of people there.
Well, it was at MetLife, and NFL stadium, so it's not going to look great. But you compare it to Seattle, who's they've been
20,000.
filling out, and then of course St. Louis, who's playing at an old NFL place, and they are selling the crap out of tickets.
I don't know if y'all heard this during halftime though with New York's head coach. Like I don't know if y'all realize how eloquent of a speaker he is.
Kevin Gilbride.
Yeah, Gilbride.
Yeah, he came out and said, that's team
should be
offense,
watered
that's
down.
team
I'm gonna
defense,
give it to
that's
you
team
right now.
team.
Team.
And then
Team.
the cameras just held on him for a very awkward length of time. I thought it was really funny.
Oh my god. How does wow god, what's his name? How does Matt McGloin have no faith in this guy?
That was another one of my favorite things. I guess the favorite thing, like all of a Guardians game, is when they put the camera on Matt McGloin because he was sitting up in the stands.
It looked like he was in timeout or detention or something. Like, you sit up there and think about what you've done.
Oh man! Oh, somebody let me blame something on somebody up here. They kept him away from the reporters. They put him up in a box. You are no more. Timeout, Matt McGloin. Yeah, that was great.
Final, LA falls to New York, 14-17. Next game.
Well, before we go on, I just want to throw this out to you guys. What is this turnaround point for you guys? Is this a turnaround point for the Guardians, or does this seem like yet another turning around point for the Wildcats?
I mean, I feel like the Wildcats have almost like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde personality right now. And it may be the traveling, it may be a lot of other things, but like to me, when I'm coming to picking these Wildcats games moving forward, it's which Wildcats team is going to show up. Are we going to get the Wildcats that showed up against DC at the home, or are we going to get the Wildcats that showed up against New York? And
also these road games, I mean, that's my biggest thing, is it seems to be the team on the road is at a way bigger disadvantage, especially when it's cross country, LA to New York.
Unless you're the Dallas Renegades, but other than that, yeah, it does seem that way.
There's one other thing that I don't know if it's been addressed yet. I know we saw it last week a little bit when we were at the LA DC game, but something I noticed with LA was having problems in DC. Traveling teams, their mics
Headsets,
getting into their headsets, talking to the receivers because they're talking to the quarterback and the receivers. The traveling teams are having troubles communicating with who needs to be on the field and what plays being.
I did notice that as well. Yeah, in both these games, it did seem like there were some communication issues. And then when you're talking about the home field team, then it does seem like maybe there's some home cooking going on there.
I mean, hell, put a magnet up there in the damn press box where they got all the radios and fuck it all up. I don't know what they're doing, but it's working.
Maybe so.
All right, can we go into this St. Louis game now?
Let's do it.
St. Louis against Seattle at St. Louis.
St. Louis looked great in this game. Tiamu came out and had a hell of a game.
27,527 people there. They were doing this really cool thing where they were screaming "boom" on kickoffs and "bang" on
field goals.
Stop early. Marquette King.
Very cool. I am, boy. I mean, if it wasn't for being stuck here in LA and going ahead and sticking with my Wildcats. If I was still back home in Arkansas,
St. Louis would be the team.
Oh, that's my team right there.
Hell yeah.
And their fans are making it fun. If you get a chance. If you're going to watch your first XFL game, watch a Battlehawks game because it's great.
Well, also, like with Tiamu, like he was making reads not only in the passing but in the run game too, and he really made a difference for their offense.
I mean, he's such a great RPO quarterback.
And my question is, like, is he going to be in the league next year, or is he moving up?
It's a good point. 25 years old. I mean, he could be. He's looking really, really good. Man, could you imagine being a St. Louis fan though, and your star quarterback leaving?
Oh, be brutal. But I mean, good for him. He's playing a hell of it. His family came up from Hawaii too to watch the game. I saw.
Yep.
How fun was it when BJ Daniels came in late?
That's another thing too. You were saying how great St. Louis looked. Seattle looked really good, especially after the quarterback change. BJ Daniels was electric. You know, we had a friend that came up to us.
2 touchdowns.
A massive gambler. He's been roped into this XFL. He came up to us last night. We were talking to him, and he said that he turned on and saw that it was like a 8-1 favorite Seattle during the second half, and he turned it on and saw this BJ Daniels guy, and that's what a great time to turn it on because that's when they turned it around. They looked really good.
Yeah.
He's actually what killed me on my lock of the week. I picked them to win, to take the over, which they did, but they didn't cover because BJ Daniels came in late and played so well. I was actually
And
Here's my
As
question.
well and as good as it was, and as fun as it was to watch, I was hating it every second because he was blowing my lock of the week.
Do y'all think they're done with Brandon Silvers, or do y'all think that he just had a bad game and he'll be starting again next week?
No, I think you've got to be. I think B.J. Daniels came in and it just completely changed their offense. It completely changed it in a great way.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going on at practices because you'd think Quentin Flowers, which would have gotten the start this week, but he was kicked out
Quentin
or
Flowers
left the
is
team.
Vipers.
He just came back
Yeah,
this
he's
week.
with Vipers.
Exactly, but I'm just saying that like you would think these players are going to start, but I don't know what's going on at practices because they're
That's a good
Right.
point.
way
That's a good
different
point.
players to start. Like Luis Perez.
Why was Matt
it was-
McGloin starting this whole time? If
Exactly.
you got Luis Perez in there, like,
Exactly.
I mean, maybe they just can't show up to the dance. I mean, there's some fighters like that they're great in the gym, and then on the big day they get in front of the lights and they choke. I mean, and also as much as in high intensity you want in practice, there's a difference between practice and a game.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is what it is. Luis Perez.
Yeah, but
and
at this
now-
point, you're watching these guys produce in the game. It doesn't matter what they're doing in practice.
Exactly.
Right?
That's
I
my
mean,
point.
so-
Is that like whoever gets you the points on the board at the end of the week, that's who you got to put in.
yeah.
I got to give the best coach award so far in the season to go to Jonathan Hayes. He seems like he's been coaching the best this entire season.
It's funny that Pep Hamilton's no longer in the running as he was after
Or
2
June
weeks.
Jones. Or June Jones, whose team is the undefeated team.
He has.
Well, I don't know how much the DC's problem right now is coaching and how much is it that, like, just miscommunications with their players. Because there was a lot of plays, which we're not on that game. I guess I'll wait till
Yeah.
we
We'll get to it. Jordan Teamo, Pearson L. Are they the better duo now than P.J. Walker and Cam Phillips?
No, I don't think so. Because, I mean, look, Houston was playing Dallas.
Yeah.
Arguably the other best team in the league.
Yeah.
And I know Seattle looked great after the quarterback change, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Like, playing Seattle at home
Plus-
versus playing Dallas on the road. Come
Yeah.
on.
St.
That's-
Louis seems to be the team that's all about running. And we saw that this week with you picking Matt Jones,
Yeah.
who didn't really have a good game, but boy, did the other two running backs, Christine Michael and Keith Ford, they
And
stepped up.
Teamo as well.
Yeah,
I mean, he
55
was their
yards.
leading
This
rusher.
is fun, though, is Tiamu, obviously, is his name. Christine Michael and Keith Ford are actually both from Texas AMU, or TAMU.
That's so dumb.
That is. There we go. Yeah. I should have seen it. I should have
So I
read
think
in between
that's-
the lines.
Yes, exactly. They're a great
Who does
tandem.
St. Louis play next week?
The Tiamu, Tamu tandem.
They play DC next week.
Oh, wow.
In DC?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it looks like it.
We'll get to that, but that is not looking good for DC at this
No,
point.
it is not.
Because arguably St. Louis is your best team in the league, I mean,
No way.
No way.
Come on.
Houston.
They lost to Houston. They've
A
already
million
played
percent.
Houston,
Yeah.
who is undefeated still
And
Yeah,
a-
but not. It was at Houston. I want to see that Houston team do that
in St. Louis.
St.
In
Louis. It
St.
was also
Louis.
a close game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Somebody give me this.
and there was that offside call that, changed the game that they miss. So, yeah, I think there is an argument there.
4-point
I
game.
understand,
It's
yes, the
24-28.
numbers don't lie, but sometimes in football, early in a brand new league, in a brand new season, brand new team, maybe they were just off. I think that St. Louis is a contender for the best team in the league, especially with
I
their
do
fans.
think that they're up. I do think that right now in the league, especially with Landry Jones out, we don't know how long he's going to be out. I think they said 2 weeks, but that looked like a nasty
that
fucking
looked
knee
a
injury,
lot,
man. Like
a
I don't
lot
know.
longer than 2 weeks.
I know that's what they're reporting right now, but I mean, until Houston loses, Houston's 4-0. They're the best team in the league right now, in my opinion.
They've also scored 5 more touchdowns than St. Louis. Like you said, the numbers telling the story here.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Final. Seattle loses to St. Louis 16-23. We're going into Houston, where the Roughnecks come to Arlington
Battle of Texas.
to face the Renegades of Dallas. And there was a social media war before this game even started. Did you guys watch any of that?
So
No, I
much
didn't.
fun. I called it the week before. I should. Not that I called this pretty easily, but this is
The
the
first
only built-in rivalry in this
Yep.
league. The battle for Texas. It's so good. And yes, the one thing I love about XFL, I'm sure the people who are listening know this already, but the social media accounts hold no punches.
Oh no, they're amazing. I
It's-
love it.
So good. So, I mean, very...
And it's
very,
also just fun being a part of it as it starts. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are going to be stories that hopefully in 3 years from now are going to be, part of the rivalry. Part of why it's so fun to watch this sport and watch the team.
And in this game, I know in the first quarter, Landry Jones had 3 interceptions, and that's tough, but Houston didn't really capitalize on it.
No, not at
and
all. Yeah, P.J. Walker
Dallas
did not
stayed
look...
in the game, and until Landry Jones got injured, they were in it.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a fucking game.
Oh, yeah, and that drive, and, if you go back and listen to last week's podcast, my lock of the week, very stupidly, was this would be the first overtime game.
Yeah.
And while Landry Jones is driving the team down, hurts himself on the 4th and 1, going for it, which he does get. I mean, putting it all out there.
Only to lose it in a what's being called a fumble now, but was clearly an interception.
Yeah, it was an interception. But
by Philip Nelson.
Also, but let's give it up for Dallas's backup quarterback. He finished that drive. He came up, and I feel like that was it was a bad play call.
Very bad play call.
That was a terrible fucking play call. And he should have read it at the line. Defense was all over
hit
that.
the receiver in the face.
Yeah. Right. The receiver should have made the catch.
But even if he makes the catch, he's got nowhere to go. He's dead to rights. You got to audible out of that play call, but it's still a dumb play call. I think a screen pass on the 2-yard line. That's
especially out to the wide receiver, like a wide screen like that. And he wasn't. Anyway,
maybe it was a double pass. Maybe we didn't. I mean, it was a double pass after
straight to Houston.
It's an interception.
Yeah,
it was an interception. It was a great play.
It was a great play.
It was SportsCenter #1 play, the top play of the week is actually what it was, which is great for the XFL to get that kind of coverage.
Yeah,
I mean, NBC's not helping us. It's nice to see ESPN doing something, but they show the games. That game, who knows? Landry Jones is the quarterback on that play call. Could audible out. Should have been a run play, in my eyes. Very reminiscent of that Super Bowl where, Seattle throws the interception on a quick slant to the Patriots. That's what it felt like to me. That's just not a good play call.
The difference with them is they had Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. So
but Dallas has got, Artis Payne and what's the other guy's name?
Lance Dunbar.
Who
Which,
was
by the way,
they're
game. Going by J-Lo and Rihanna right now.
That.
They audible J-Lo, Rihanna. So which one do you think is J-Lo? Between Lance Dunbar and
Shouldn't it be J-Lo and Shakira?
Well, okay, here's another question. What would your two be?
Probably neither, honestly.
Mine would be Jennifer Love Hewitt and Anna Kendrick.
Mine would be peanut butter and jelly.
There we go. Peanut butter. Jelly. jelly.
Uh-oh, peanut butter's getting jelly. Jelly's getting all the carries.
Artis Payne and Dunbar, peanut butter, jelly.
Jump in. What was yours be?
Crunchy and smooth.
Ooh, that's very good. Thunder and Lightning's but crunchy and smooth is way better than Thunder and Lightning. I like it.
Iron and Steel, I don't know.
Yeah.
Out of J-Lo and Rihanna, which one would be the crunchy and which one would be the smooth?
I don't know, Brett. Pull up a picture of their ass. Let me see.
Yeah.
I mean, Dunbar averaged 5.3 yards per carry last game. So
had a good game.
That's pretty crunchy.
He had the touchdown, too. Out of the two, he had the touchdown. I should have picked him as my pick of the week.
And then, you guys want to talk about Dallas as much as you want to about being, this and that second half team and everything like that. They were 2 for 2 on their 4th down,
Yeah,
so,
and Dallas came to fight. I mean, it was a home game. It was very entertaining. I hate to see Landry Jones get hurt like that.
Yeah,
that sucks for that team because they were on such an upswing. I feel like they were going to be contenders in this league, and depending on how long he's going to be out, that's going to affect their team. I know the backup came in and did great up until the interception, but
the game was lost before Landry left the game. The game was lost on the Edmund Robinson sack fumble, picked it up, recovered it, touchdown, walked in. That happened so fast. So that was Landry Jones that was in that happened. That was the last score of the game. Nobody else scored after that. So I
mean, you're right. And that was a hell of a play.
And it was. Probably would have gone to overtime if it wasn't for that. I mean, that was the game. That was the entire game.
Great awareness to get that sack, and then the ball was behind him, and he was still locating it, picked it up, and scooped and scored. Yeah, you're right. That was.
And I know Houston to Dallas isn't a far travel compared to what we were talking about earlier, but Houston on the road went into Dallas or went into Arlington and got the win. I mean, I really like the way this Houston team looks right now.
Yeah.
We also had a 9-point touchdown this game.
We did. Yes, P.J. Walker had a 10-yard rush from the 3-point attempt.
Yeah.
So.
I love it. I love that you can. You know, and there's last week it happened in the Seattle game. They put the microphone in Jim Zorn's face when they were down by 1 and for going for a point, and they went for 3, and they were like, why would you do that when 1 can tie the game up or 1 can bring it within 3? That's what it was, and they were down by 1, but 1 can bring it within 3, and then a field goal can tie it. Why would you go for 3? And the thing is, if your defense isn't playing that great, especially late in the game, and you're expecting it, and he couldn't say that on the microphone, he couldn't say, I'm expecting them to score again, which they did.
They did.
You know, going for 3 means that it's still a 1-possession game when we get the ball back, no matter what they go for. So I love this about this league. You know, even after that scoop and score, you know, they were up by 1, they scooped and scored it. It's still a 1-possession game after that. That doesn't happen in the NFL.
Right.
So I think that's great.
Something else that I was really upset about, and I wish they've done it for all the other games, is why did they not put a mic on Landry Jones right after he got injured?
Yeah.
Like, he's sitting on the sideline crying because it looks like his football career is over. Put a mic on that guy. I want to hear his emotions. I want to hear what he's feeling.
I don't think he was crying until after they turned it over, where he was just like, damn, I went for it on 4th, I injured myself, and it still ended in a turnover, like 0 points whatsoever. That happens a lot in the XFL. Damn.
Yeah, we're back to the red zone turnovers, aren't we?
I mean, that's been the big plague of the season.
Yeah.
Like,
Final, Houston wins 27-20 at Dallas.
Good game. Good very first battle for Texas. I thought there was a lot of drama in there. It was a good game. It was back and forth.
thoroughly entertained. 10 out of 10. Would watch again. That was
Very
awesome.
much so.
Next
Now let's
one.
go ahead and move on to the next game.
Next one, a lot of first in this next game. A lot of first. We head down to Tampa Bay. The late game. I had to wait till 4 p.m. here in California to watch this game. I was exhausted by the time it started.
So, the thing about this one, and I'll go ahead and say it now. Last week, when we were going over picks for this week, we thought the people in Las Vegas were out of their goddamn minds.
Yeah.
Well,
a little bit.
They had changed it by kickoff. They had changed it by kickoff.
But the fact is, at some point, they saw this coming.
Yes.
And they were the only ones that saw it coming.
Were they? We'll
Tampa
get to
Bay
the picks.
shut out the DC Defenders. If you'd have told me that in week one,
Especially after all the fuckery with Quentin Flowers.
no
leaving the
shit.
team.
Like,
Makes
how
no
the
sense.
hell?
DC shuts out New York.
How about Taylor Cornelius coming in looking like a fucking stud, leading
good.
that offense?
I mean, and
Corn dog.
that's a team that looked like in disarray because earlier in that week, Quentin Flowers quit.
Right.
He was done. I mean, at first it was, I remember they reported that he was leaving because of personal issues, which is just like red flag right there.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
Some Antonio
And
Brown
then-
shit going
and
on
then
right
he
there.
asked for his release. But I'm guessing now, is this what's going on? Quentin Flowers now is back with the team? What's going on with this? Do we have
I
an
have
update
no
on
idea.
this?
Yes, as of recording right now, he's back with the team, right? Probably because they just won.
'Cause they won one?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, but
No,
Cornelius...
not obviously. I have no idea.
Cornelius looked great.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was 24 for 31, 211 yards.
And
Touchdown.
how about that fucking Tampa
he's
Bay
coming back-
defense?
maybe he's coming back to be a running back because I don't know if you guys know, but they got running figured out in Tampa Bay.
They had... Joel, I was saying this the other day that Matt Jones was going to be the first 100-yard rusher. No. It was actually Smith and Patrick both for the Vipers. Both rushed for over 100 yards in this game.
108 for Patrick.
Dual 100-yard... That's insane.
That is insane, and that's what opens it up for Taylor Cornelius.
Yeah.
Like it,
122, a new record for the XFL.
and I know I said earlier that the LA team that showed up to play DC didn't show up in New York. Let me tell you what, the same goddamn DC team showed up in Tampa Bay that showed up in LA. They look like shit.
Damn.
Cardale Jones, and I know, I know the joke here has been you're a bum, Cardale, but honestly, his receivers were. They were not on the same page. He would be throwing, and the receiver would break. He'd be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" You saw him on the sidelines talking. It's like, "Hey, man, you got to run that route."
Eli Rogers, Rashad Ross had a combined 16 targets. So they got thrown at 16 times. They only caught 7 of those. I mean, there's definitely
Only
a miscommunication.
Only
going on.
3
Yeah.
players on the defenders caught a pass. Only 3 players.
Jesus.
I mean, Cardale Jones 9 for 22. It's what is going on? A QB rating of 30.
what happened? I want to know. Did he have a sad sit down shower after LA and just couldn't bring it together?
I'm glad you brought this up because
Yes.
he hasn't lost a game since high school.
And now
but
he's
that
lost-
we've done some sleuthing. Me and David did some sleuthing. We looked it up. The day before he played the Wildcats, he went and saw Sonic the Hedgehog.
And he's not won.
And he hasn't won a football game since.
Fuck Sonic. I ain't never watching that movie.
I'm just saying, if you're a quarterback in any league, just don't go watch that movie.
No shit.
Right? Because it's not looking good.
Yeah.
Because Patrick buried his father on Friday, scored his very first pro touchdown on Sunday. There's something about a loved one
am
dying.
I going to make a joke about parents dying and then having a good game afterwards?
Are you?
Should we do that? Probably not.
No, we're not
Let's
going
not be
to.
those people.
We're not going to. But,
I mean, shit, at least his dad didn't die right before a loss.
yeah. Did he make it to that funeral?
So here's a fun
He buried
stat.
him on Friday. Yeah, so he did go to the funeral.
This ties for the greatest kickoff differential between two teams in a game. DC kicked off one time to Tampa Bay 7.
Yeah.
The other holder of that record, also a DC game, versus
The Wildcats.
the Guardians.
Oh, wow.
Week 1, wherein they kicked off 7 times and the Guardians got to kick off 1 time.
Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. And the Guardians beat Tampa Bay. I mean, what's going...
Yeah, it's like the ultimate rock, paper, scissors. Going week to week, I don't know. And you got to know, like, the coaches are obviously doing a great job on the end of teams that are losing, coming back and winning. Like, it's hard calling it week to week because some teams show up and some teams just don't. And some players just don't. Like,
Shout out to Tampa Bay. Their fans showed up. They were an 0-3 team.
and they showed up and they had a hell of a game.
And they were rewarded.
Yeah.
I love to see that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, DC in disarray. What's going on there? I have no
Here's
idea.
my question. Does LA beat any other team but DC?
Well, they got Tampa Bay next week. So,
Yeah, and if we can't stop the run game, which we couldn't stop New York's, if we can't stop the run game, we won't beat Tampa
I mean,
Bay.
you know, that's crazy. XFL record 122 yards by Smith, followed up by his other running back Patrick with 108 yards.
And it's crazy because week 1, I was talking about how the run game isn't even effective in this league because the teams that were running the ball better were losing. But now it's back to regular football, and it seems like running the ball, that's a big indicator of who's going to win.
Who would have seen that one coming?
So if there's one thing we've proven, it's that we know exactly what we're talking about, and it's 100% wrong every single time.
Well, going into that, you guys ready to make some picks for
Let's
next
make
week?
some fucking
do it,
picks.
yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. First game of the week, we've got Seattle at Houston. Houston is a 13-point favorite in this game. Wesley, who you got?
I mean, Houston's got to lose at some point. And so far, this league has been there's been surprises, and you got to take a chance. I'm taking a chance on Seattle for this one, even though it's at Houston. Houston, their flaws were shown in this last game, I feel like. And Seattle has a good defense. So I think, I say I'm picking Seattle to win this game.
Very stupid. Bear, who do you got?
Houston all day. They're 4-0. PJ Walker is a fucking stud. He's going to lead his team to victory at home. Seattle's got to go to Houston. There's no fucking way I'm picking Seattle when they're going. No. Houston all day.
Josh?
Houston to win and cover, no question.
And cover. I'll take that as well. I'm going to say the same thing. Houston to cover and win.
Are you
Can we
writing these
bring
down?
up our overall season record of our picks real quick?
Yes, if you guys want to look at them, we got Wesley's in the lead with 8-4. And then me and Bear are tied 7-5. And Josh is not off to a good start. Even though he started late, he's 3-5 right now.
Oh,
Okay, well, I'm picking
Listen.
Houston.
all right. So I'm going to want to pick Seattle, though. But Seattle, if they play B.J. Daniels this whole game, this could be a game, guys. I'm telling you right now, you fight fire with fire. P.J. Walker, B.J. Daniels, this is going to be a high-scoring game. Take the over on this one. Seattle to win.
I think BJ is going to be giving PJ a BJ because Houston's going to win this fucking game.
Look, a fire for fire makes the whole world blind or something. So.
Game 2, New York at Dallas. Wesley, who do you got?
Whew, 2-2 teams. This one's a hard one. This one is a really hard one for me because it was a different New York team, and now it's a different Dallas team with a new quarterback. I am going to take... Boy, I don't know. I mean, Dallas hasn't won a game at home yet, and they've got the Instagram model starting again. New York's got Luis Perez, who just... I'm gonna take the coach on this one. I will go Dallas to finally win a game in Arlington. Dallas wins this game. I don't feel good about it.
Great, we just lost all our listeners. Barry, you want to bring them back?
Yeah, I'm going to pick New York and Dallas. And you know what? After week 1, I picked New York. Then they looked like shit. And I was like, I'm never going to pick New York again. I think Luis Perez, Landry Jones out of the game. I think New York's going to come into Dallas. It's going to be tough. It's going to be close. This is my pick that it's a toss-up because I don't know anything about this Instagram model other than he throws interceptions on the 1-yard line. So I'm picking New York.
Josh.
So this one, it's numbers-wise, there's some interesting things. You've got a team that has never won away against a team that has never won at home.
Well, that's going to change
and
next
they're
week.
both playing on the weak side of the field for them. I think that, Dallas has scored more touchdowns. I think, weirdly, I know they have the same record, but I feel like Dallas has been a more consistent team. So I'm going to go with Dallas taking the win.
Dallas. I'm going to go with New York, just on the fact that they got the quarterback that's on his way up, and Phillips hasn't proved he can do anything. He's only lost 1 game at home, so it's probably going to be more of the same, and then this game right here. Next game, the first one on Sunday, we've got St. Louis, who's a 3-point favorite, at DC. Bear, who do you got?
Oh, St. Louis all day. Cardale Jones is a fucking bum. Get him out of this league. No,
You're a bum, Cardale!
No, I think it's... honestly, I don't think the problems in D.C. were as much Cardale as it was him being off with his receivers. So it could be closer, but with St. Louis and Tiamu playing the way they're playing right now, I think St. Louis wins.
Josh, who you got?
I'm going to say that DC is going to win this game and completely blow Wes's theory that St. Louis is the best team in the league out of the water.
Yeah, I'm also going to go with DC on this game. I think them at home, tearing up that pitch. I think this is going to be a turnaround game. I think Pep Hamilton's going to have them ready. I love St. Louis, but it's an outdoor cold game, so I think that's going to play a big factor into it.
If DC wins this game, St. Louis not the best team? Do you say that?
I will say that.
All right.
Which also, spoiler alert for my pick. My pick for this one is St. Louis. DC showed that they are not good against a rushing team. DC has great running backs. We saw that in the last game.
St. Louis has great
St. Louis, I'm sorry. Yes, they're not going to stop Tiamo. They're not going to stop Matt Jones. They're not going to stop 3 and 4,
And even if DC's offense can get some fireworks going and Cardale can find his rhythm again and get back to those early week games that we saw him, I still think St. Louis, with the way they're offense, I think they outshoot them.
Yeah.
I don't think DC's defense can handle what St. Louis is bringing to the table.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to bring Bird Law to DC. Caw is law. I got Battlehawks all day long on this one.
Last game of the week, prime time. Tampa Bay comes to LA. I think LA is going to take them down because they need to. And, I hope that the late night game brings some fans out for a nice, awesome, cool outdoor football game. Wesley, what do you think?
We'll be there. This is going to be a fun one. This one is prime time. The game starts at 6 p.m.
We're going to be tailgating. We'll be in a black Silverado.
Yeah.
Come out and grill some burgers with
Come
us.
check us out. Yeah, we'll put you on the show. It's going to be a good one. I am going to take LA on this one. They are a different team at home. Even the one game they lost against Dallas, they still look pretty good. They definitely look a lot different than when they go to New York and when they go to Houston. So I'm going to take LA on this one. I think especially if we have Nelson Spruce back, if we have Martez Carter, that's going to make me feel a lot better. I think this last loss was a bit of a fluke. I'm sorry not to take anything away from New York, but I am going to, and not take anything away from Tampa Bay. They looked great their last week, but I think our run defense is better than DC's. So I'm going to take LA. No, DC who played Tampa Bay.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So
I'm picking the Wildcats too because mainly Tampa Bay is about to have to travel. They're about to have to come across the country.
Yeah.
And the teams that move across the country don't do as well. They
Yeah.
didn't do as well when they came across the country to play Seattle. I don't think they're going to do as well here in LA. And we do play better at home.
Yeah.
So I'm picking the LA Wildcats.
Josh?
So I'll get to my pick in just a second. But do you think the travel, it's a lot of teams used to warm weather going to places where there's cold weather. Do you think that's a factor Do you think that's more of a factor than the travel, or do you think it's a travel?
I think the league is too young for people to be used to warmer or warm weather or cold weather.
Also, this is professional football. You're getting paid fucking money. Whether you're cold or hot or sweating or freezing your balls off, you need to come out and play fucking football.
Things happen different in different weather. I'm just saying.
Good point.
But DC came to LA and they lost. So
But my pick is going to be Wildcats all the way. Claws up.
Balls up!
Yeah.
Highest score in a single game in the XFL. Right now.
on the count of 3, we all say the X is for extreme because we're all homers. 1, 2, 3.
The X is for extreme.
All right, cool. Bear, you won last week with the player of the week with Trey McBride. He had a touchdown. Everybody else's players did a whole bunch of fucking nothing.
Yeah.
So you could start us off with your player of the upcoming week. Who do you got?
I got our quarterback, L.A. I think he's going to light up this Tampa Bay defense. I think he's going to look great here at home. Do we know if Nelson Spruce is coming back?
We don't. No news. We didn't know that he was going to be out.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I think Johnson at home against Tampa Bay. Yeah, he's my player of the week.
Josh Johnson.
Yeah.
Great pick. That's a good pick. Especially if Spruce is back.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a New York player here now that they got a quarterback that can throw it to him. I'm going with a wide receiver that I hope scores his first touchdown and runs to the goalpost to lift up the padding where he's hidden a cell phone.
I already know where this is going.
Joe Horn Jr., he had 1 catch in last game and then a whole bunch of nothing after that. But next game, they've got, who are they placing? Dallas. At Dallas, I think Joe Horn gets his first touchdown. So Joe Horn Jr. is my pick. Wesley.
I'm going to go B.J. Daniels. I mean, I didn't pick Seattle to win this for no reason. I really think that he's going to
Watch
come.
Brandon Silver start.
Yeah, there's a good chance, right? Yeah. If he played for Tampa Bay, that's what would happen.
Yeah.
B.J. Daniels, I think, is going to come out. He won the starting position in my eyes in this last game. I think he's going to give whoever they're playing, I'm so sorry, Houston, a bit of trouble. So, B.J. Daniels, that's my pick. I don't think Houston's played a scrambling quarterback this year, have they? You know, they've played Dallas, they've played L.A.
They played Tiamo.
They did play Tiamo, but they almost lost to Tiamo. So, yeah, I think
Seattle isn't St. Louis. Where are you coming from with this?
What?
Josh, who do you got?
PJ Walker. I'm going with the cliche answer. He's putting up big numbers every week. His team's winning. I think they're going to keep winning.
Also, the debate of the co-MVP between him and Cam Phillips comes to a rest now that Cam Phillips catches 1 ball for 9 yards.
Yeah. But that, again, though, he was
PJ's taking that. PJ's heard us. And he goes, I don't want to share an MVP.
Well,
Stop
but
throwing it to
also,
him.
I mean, you had Holly score. I mean, he had, a touchdown and 97 yards, so at least there were receivers that were picking up the slack. Yeah, I think it's safe to say now
it's
PJ Walker.
It's PJ Walker who's, the MVP.
Josh, what is your tough question this week? Do you got one for us?
I got 2. One's a quick fun one, the other one's a serious one.
Okay.
So, the quick fun one. How many seasons before there is an XFL video game?
God damn, I hope just one. I really do.
If they make it past 3 seasons, I'm going to say 5.
How many seasons was there before there was an NFL football game?
Well, that's fair.
not-
There wasn't video games back in the 50s. I hope soon. I mean, I can't even play Madden anymore. I want to go for 3 after every touchdown. I want to have the kickoffs.
I want to play with these new teams. These teams are fun. It's
Arena Football had a football league, and do we know how long that took? I mean,
I
there's
don't
no
know.
telling. I mean,
Arena Football wasn't even around that long.
Yeah.
Really, so
Yeah.
I'll say 3 seasons.
3 seasons?
3 seasons, yeah.
I'm gonna go 2.
I say if we survive, if we have an XFL for 3 seasons, the video game will come out in the 5th season.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Let's see where we're at in 2 seasons, and I'll get back to
I
you.
just want 2 seasons. I mean, I just won season tickets, so I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
hoping
true.
there's another season.
Yeah, no shit.
All right. Here is the other tough question of the week. This one actually related to the game itself. Will any team outscore in a single game the Wildcats' performance of 39 points?
Yes.
Who will it be?
The Roughnecks.
Okay.
Good one. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say here's my answer. I'm going to say both St. Louis and Houston will
Oh.
both score over 40 points at some point in this year.
All right.
I definitely think St. Louis can do it. Who's St. Louis playing next week?
They are playing DC at DC.
That might
It
be
might
the
be
game.
this week. It might be this week that St. Louis does it. I think Houston can do it, but I think they'll have a tougher schedule moving out. I think St. Louis has got the best chance. So, yes, my answer is yes, St. Louis.
All right. Fair enough. I'm going to take a controversial position here and also say yes. But I'm going to say it's going to be the Wildcats that do it.
Oh, wow. All right. Yeah.
Love it. Claws up.
Pause up.
Claws up.
Shit, we might do it this week, hopefully.
All right. Anything to sign off on?
Social media, make sure and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Pornhub, all that good stuff.
Yeah. XFLol
Podcast.
on Instagram, at email at gmail.com. You can send in your questions. We will answer them. Doesn't matter what it is.
You could be the first one to do it.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, if you hate my questions, we can do your questions.
Thanks for listening, guys. I know if you've listened this far, you've listened, you're an actual fan, so we greatly appreciate it. And you can also follow all of our personal Instagrams, too. You can find that through the XFLol.
That's all right. All right. You guys ready to go drink some Bud Light seltzers?
Hells yes.
Let's do this.
All right, guys. Until next week.
For the love of football.
Why does everybody need me to stay?